Hey guys, I'm coming to you in real time today because I want you to see how easy it is to create designs for your book without having to actually do a whole lot of work on your own. So we're starting here in BT Bullock. This is my son's elementary school book, and we're going to put some designs on these pages. So this is a live school. They're exactly like your Yearbook Avenue and Layout Pro it looks, and so this is going to be exactly what you see when you begin to work on your pages. So I'm starting on a spread, and I'm going to come over here to the Design tab on the side, and I'm looking through the designs that are pre-made by Jostens. Now we're going to kind of live right now in the theme section. All of these themed spreads match each other. So as I open these, you can see that they all kind of go together. Now they are named. That does not, however, mean you have to keep that name. So if you wanted to use this visual theme, but with your own verbal theme, that is totally fine. These are 100% manipulatable. Is that a word? Manipulatable. And so you can change these up to fit your needs, and that includes colors and fonts and all kind of stuff, which we're going to see today. So I'm going to choose one as a starting point today, and we will work with it and then see how we can manipulate and change that. So let's start with this sync layout system here, and I'm just going to choose one and drag it and drop it on the page. Now the first thing I'm going to see is, do I want to keep existing content in the new template? And this is going to not matter if you have not begun designing your pages yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop this on the page, and you can see that we start out with a really solid layout. Now if I click up here on this ruler and pull down, I'm going to have a line. This doesn't print, it's just a guideline. The reason I want to show you this is because, do you see how that red line goes all the way across that entire spread? That's the eye line, and that's something you want to try very hard to maintain. Now it doesn't have to be in this location. It can be in the top, towards the bottom, occasionally in the middle, although as a general rule you want to stick to the top third or the bottom third. But this is a really important design element because it allows your eye a place to rest, and it brings unity to the two different sides of the spread. So keep that in mind. Now let's say that I've dropped the spread on the page and I'm really liking a lot of the aspects of it, but there's some things that are just not working for me. For example, maybe it's the colors. Maybe I'm just not loving this teal color because my school colors are a more vibrant blue. So if I come up here to Edit, Select, and Color, I can choose using this drag and drop little box here, my context. If I want to change just the text, the fill, the stroke, the drop shadow, or all, I'm going to select all. And I can pick the current color. On this particular spread, there are 3 colors that are currently being used: black, white, and this teal color. So I'm going to choose teal, and then I can choose the new color that I would like to replace that teal with. So I'm going to look for the color that me and my staff have chosen as our blue for the year, and maybe it's this summer pool party, and I'm going to select that. And this is telling me that there will be 6 elements affected by this change. So when I hit change, everything that used to be this teal is now this pool blue. If I wanted to change other options, I could choose black, and I could make it any color I wanted. If I wanted to make it red, we can do that. Now let's say you've gotten a little ahead of yourself and you didn't really mean to do that. You have a couple of options. You can always use the undo button, which is up here at the top, or you can just come over here and select red, change it back to black, and you're reset there. Easy enough, right? That was a quick and easy change. Now I like to zoom in because I have old eyes, and if I don't zoom in, I can't tell what's going on. So let me do this, and then let's have a look at what's already on this spread, what we might want to keep and what we might want to get rid of. Now in this case, I love this title, but I think I want to change it to a different color, and so I'm going to select here. You can see these are the colors that are already used on the page, and then I'm going to choose Rebel Red. I liked that red, I just didn't like it on all the text. Now I don't need this to be here, and I don't need this line to be here. So I'm gonna just remove that. And now that kind of gives me an awkward space at the top. So we're gonna do something with that here in just a few minutes. Now we're going to put our page numbers at the bottom in this particular example, and so this up here isn't really needed in my layout, so I'm going to go ahead and just delete that as well. Now if I click and drag, anything that is touching the box, the blue box that I outlined with, is going to be deleted. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. So now I'm liking the way this looks, but I feel like this is an awkward space at the top. So I'm going to actually just choose everything except for that bottom bar, and I'm going to just arrow it up. Let's just move this right on up and get rid of that awkward space at the top. Now I'm just using the up arrow on my keyboard. Now once I did that, I realized that there's kind of some like little lines here, which I'm not too much of a fan of, so I'm going to get rid of that. And I feel better about this. Now my awkward space is at the bottom, but I feel like I can take this and pull it down a little bit. As a matter of fact, now that I think about it, probably don't even need that. I mean, that's just one big picture. It's going to be really hard to get big pictures this year, so I'm going to just stick to the one big picture on the page. Let's just take all that out. We'll figure out something else for that space, huh? Now, I like these boxes, and I love how small they are, but I really wish they had some captions underneath. I'm really kind of missing that. So I'm going to come up here and choose this, and I'm going to duplicate it. And there's a duplicate button right here. There's also copy and paste, either edit copy, edit paste, or Control C, Control V. And the reason I'm doing that instead of making a new text box is because then I'm going to go ahead and just keep the fonts and the sizing that they've already established in this layout. And then I'm going to duplicate that again, and I'm going to place these. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 2. So if I duplicate that, I now have 4. If I duplicate that, I now have 6. Let's just add one more, copy and paste. Now, I have the right number of these. So I'm going to use my select button, my shift button, to select more than one item. And I'm going to align these to the right. Now, because I know I'm going to be aligning a lot of things, I'm going to go ahead and pin this tab open and pull it down here where it's handy. And I'm going to align right. Now, I'm going to take this one, the very first one, and I'm going to align it left. Now, if I drag and select all 7 of these text boxes, remember I can do that because if I drag my blue box, anything touching the inside of that blue box is going to be selected. And I'm going to align them all to the top so they're in the same height. And then I'm going to distribute them horizontally. So this is going to mean that all the space between each element is even horizontally. And there we go. So now I feel like that's a lot better. Now we can add some student insights to these pictures, and to me that is really helpful. Now, one thing that I personally am not a big fan of is trapped text. It kind of creeps me out. I don't like it. I want my text to be able to fall right off the page. So this text right here that's kind of trapped in this hole bothers me. So what I'm going to do is select it, and then I'm going to group it. And this is my grouping button. And so I've now grouped that text. So I can click it. I can click it. There we go. And I can move this to where I want it to go, and it's going to stay together. I liked the layout, I just didn't like the position. So I'm going to choose to move this to the top so it has an escape hatch, like I like all my text to have. And then I'm going to choose these 3 image boxes, and I'm going to move them down. Now this is a fun little mod here, right? You can tell some fun stories with this. My big concern though is, let me ungroup this. My big concern is this tall skinny picture. I can't think of any picture that might fit in that space. So I'm not a big fan of that. So I'm going to just pull this down, and then I'm going to use my duplicate button. And again, I could have drawn a new box. However, I like knowing that this one's the exact same size as the previous one. So now I'm going to have room for 3 photos instead of 2. So remember, I've left this arranged thing open because I use this all the time. I'm using my shift key to select 2 image boxes. I'm going to align them to the top. Then I'm going to click and drag to pick up all 3 of these, and I'm going to align them to the right. And now I'm going to use my distribute button, only this time I want to distribute them vertically so that they're evenly spaced vertically. All right, we're moving somewhere. These little spaces are too much though, so I'm going to just adjust that till it looks the way I want it. And there you go. All right, I'm feeling better about this. How about you? All right, I'm going to save. We're spoiled by Google. We think we don't have to save anything, but you do, so make sure you hit save occasionally. Now, this little piece of text right here, let me zoom in, remember, old eyes here. It is still that teal blue. And I knew there was something that was still blue on this page because when I clicked my color and it showed me the colors used on the page, that blue is still there. And I just found it. Now the reason this did not change when we did the edit select all blue and change it to the darker blue is because it is in a text box that has more than one color within the same text box. And that's a little bit confusing, so it wasn't sure what to do. So better safe than sorry, it left it alone. So I'm going to select that and I'm going to manually change that to blue. The best way to prevent that from happening on your layouts is to use a separate text box anytime you're changing your font color, your font size, or your font family. So let's go back to a fitted zoom so we can see everything. And it's coming together kind of nicely. As I look over the spread, I feel like this red is beautiful and I love it, but I feel like I need a little balance. There's no red over here. So I think I'm going to take this entire blue box and I'm just going to try it out as red and see if oh, that's nice, right? Maybe not. Is it too much for you? Okay guys, it's like 11:15 at night. I'm editing this video and I'm realizing that I stumbled over quite a few things here in this section. Grouping things, moving things, deleting things while there are locked elements on the page. I mean, there's quite a few things that I kind of stumble over. I started to take them out and then I thought, no, I told you this was going to be live. I'm going to let it be live. I'm going to let you see my mistakes. And I hope that that reassures you that this is a new program. It is a learning curve for everybody. There are going to be adjustments. So give yourself a break. Realize we're all just trudging through and you will figure it out and we'll help you. So if you get stuck, just let me know. And all right, back to me messing things up. Not a problem. Let's change it to white. And then white, not the outline, Sarah. We want no outline and we want the actual, there we go. See, I'm learning too. Now we're going to take the text boxes that are inside this. Let's make those white. We're making those red. We're making this box white. There you go. That took way longer than it should have taken me. And let's choose these little bar lines that they have in here and let's maybe make those blue. And there we go. I feel like it's a little gentler nod to the red without being quite too much. Now that I look at it though, this I feel like should probably be black, so we can still manipulate that, change it to make it look the way we want it to. And I'm feeling better about this. Much better about this. So let's save. Now my big problem at this point is still this bottom corner. I have no clue what's going on down here, but I know I need something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit, select all. You can also do Control A. And I'm going to come over here to my lock button and I'm going to lock all. I want it locked down so no matter what I do, I can't move it, I can't change it, it is locked. And the reason for that is I'm going to go diving and looking for something else that I can put in this section. So I'm going to go back over here to my layouts and I'm just kind of scanning through to see if there's anything in any of these layouts that strike my fancy, that catch my eye, that I might want to include in that space. I tell you what, I really feel like none of these are doing it for me. So I believe I might just try a whole different look here, a whole different theme package. Because we can do that. Ooh, look, this is fun. Do you see this up here in this corner? That's really fun. Let's give that a shot. I'm going to click and drag this onto the page. Do I want to retain the existing content in my template? Yes. Yes, I do. I don't want to delete the work I've done. So I'm going to say yes. All right, now this looks like a hot mess, doesn't it? But that's okay because we locked everything down. Nothing is going to happen to the stuff that we just placed on the spread. Now, I wanted the information in the top left-hand corner, so I know that everything on the bottom I can get rid of. I'm going to select it and I'm going to delete it. I know that there's nothing on the right-hand page that I want. I can select it and I can delete it. So now I've maintained everything except for this top corner. So I'm going to highlight all of this and I'm going to, let's see if I can arrow this down. Nope, not going to let me. I think it's not going to let me because it's locked. Let's do this. I'm going to take these and unlock them and move them out of the way. I'll fix them in a second. Good gracious. There we go. Right, and then I have my headline information up here. Don't need any of that. All right, so I know I want to take these 3 text boxes and we're going to move these down here out of the way. And I know I want to take these 3 text boxes. We're going to move them down here. And I know I want to take these. Let's see if I can select those because they're kind of hidden back there. There we go. Move them down out of the way. And then we've got this line. And we've got this headline. All right, so I'm going to group this so that I can manipulate all the rest of the stuff around here. All right, look at that. There's a weird number. Let's delete that. All right, so let's put back our boxes. Now I'm going to know which one they are because they're the only ones that are not locked. Everything else is locked down. So if I try to grab it and it won't move, it wasn't the right thing to move in the first place. I'm going to use my shift key to select both, and then I'm going to use my arrange palette here to align to the bottom. Let me find my third little picture here. We're going to align those to the right. All right, I think I have everything put back together the way it goes. Okay, now I thought this was kind of fun, so I'm going to place this in here. I can then manipulate this however I would like to. We know that we can change the font to match the other fonts in this template. We can change the colors. If you don't want to do all of that actual changing, feel free to do this. Delete, and then come up here. We're going to unlock that. We're going to duplicate it, and there you go. Now we have a title. It's in the same color, it's in the same font, it's in the same size. Now I think I'm going to kind of mimic this blue line over here. I liked that. So I'm going to choose blue and I want to make it much thinner. And there we go. And these names, we want to make them probably just black. And then we're using, let's see what font we're using over here for these. Franklin Gothic Demi Condensed. Let me just copy and paste that over. Then we don't have to start looking for fonts. All right, what are you thinking? This is doable, right? All right, so let's select all and let's make sure everything is locked down. And let's look for a little something to go right here in this corner. I'm gonna go back to my sink and see if I can find a little small something that might work for me. You know what? I kind of like this thing running across the bottom here. I wonder if we could just do that all the way across the whole bottom. If we take all of this out, I know we just did all that work. I will change things a million times when I'm designing, so, you know. I'm going to delete all of this. Everything else is in lockdown. I'm going to drag and drop. I'm going to save the existing templates. I'm going to select everything up here that I don't want. I kind of like that. What do you think? What do you think? I think maybe the pictures could be a little bigger since we have the space. I'm going to move the title up. I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to pull them all up at the same time. Now, we have our eyeline still. We have enough room for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different stories on this page. I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I would sit here all day and tweak this and play with it, and that's just something that I like to do. But if this is not your forte, what I want you to see here is how easy it is to take something that's already there and manipulate it to make it fit more of what you want in your book. So hopefully this is helpful. I'm going to do a second part that is more for people who are wanting to design their own mods. So keep your eye out for that if you're interested, and happy designing!